Coming up on the bench, Syracuse football was in search of history this weekend. The Orange with the win would improve to 5-0 for the first time since 1987. But an FCS opponent in Wagner was in town. Find out that the Cuse remained perfect.
Plus, as much as Dino Babers' crew is rolling, some might say that the best team on the Hill award goes to men's soccer. The number 7 Orange went to battle in a top 25 matchup tonight against Cornell. Could SU keep the good times rolling?
And Syracuse volleyball is grooving to begin ACC play. The Orange went into the weekend 2-0 on the conference slate, but a chance at 4-0 in the ACC was staring Cuse down. It's on the bench. Let's roll. Hey there, welcome to On the Bench. That's Johnny Gadamowitz. I'm Trey Redfield. Johnny, 8 programs are in action right now on the Hill. Half of them came into the weekend ranked.
Exciting times for Syracuse athletics, Trey. We've hit October, though. It's that point in the year where we start to figure out who's for real and who maybe fizzles out a bit as conference play progresses.
It's a good thing that this show is for real. And as always, we begin with this week's headlines. On Thursday, Syracuse women's soccer goalkeeper Lizzie-Ann Prue was called up to the Canadian women's national team. The Montreal native will be in Spain to represent the Canadians in international friendlies that go until this Monday. Prue wrapped up her final year of eligibility last season. The keeper tallied 96 saves in 2021, finishing her collegiate career with 281 saves at net. Prue is the Cuse's single-season record holder in saves per match with 9.1, set back in 2020. Canada is set to face Argentina on Thursday and Morocco on Monday.
Let's travel off the hill for a moment to nearby Lemoyne College. The school is looking at moving up to the Division I level. Currently competing in D2, the Dolphins used to be a part of Division I as part of the MAC when it came to baseball and women's lacrosse. However, when the conference decided schools must be D1 for all sports, Lemoyne dropped back down to D2. So what could this mean for the Orange? SU and Lemoyne regularly see each other in exhibition games in men's hoops, most recently last year, and you would figure the schools would play more impactful regular season games in the non-con, considering they're only a mere 2.6 miles apart.
1987 was the last time Syracuse football started a season 5-0. But on Saturday, the Orange, with the win, could match that. Some would say the opponent is easy. Wagner from the FCS. The Seahawks have lost their last 23 games, and the Orange were poised to make it 24. Syracuse and Wagner for the third time ever. The most recent matchup coming in 2018 when the Orange won 62-10. And early in the first quarter, it was looking something similar. Strader keeping it himself, going in for the score. It's Syracuse that has itself a 7-0 lead, 3.5 minutes in. And then this is the Sean Tucker we all know. 5.5 minutes to go in the first, finds the hole. Deuces. 60 yards to the house. Tucker goes the longest run in his collegiate career. It's now the Orange up 14-0. And then with less than a minute to go, Tucker one more time. The bounce to the outside. He goes in for his second score on the afternoon. Syracuse leading 21-0 after 1 quarter of play. And in the second, it was Garrett Schrader going to the air, this time to Umari Hatcher in the back corner of the end zone. That was Hatcher's first collegiate catch, and he can waddle his way to his first collegiate touchdown. Speaking of first touchdowns in Orange, Devon Cooper with one right here, making the catch, getting a couple of blocks. It's an easy path to the end zone. Cooper goes in, the 7th year getting in, and he's dancing to a 35-0 Syracuse lead. And why not the defense getting involved? Deuce Chestnut wanting some. He gets the pick 6 off Ryan Kraft. Easy walk into the end zone. The Orange now up 42-0, and then some icing on the cake for you in the first half. Tucker one more time. He finished with over 200 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns. Syracuse cruises 59-0. More on Tucker's performance. We send it over to John Eads.
Coming into today's game, Sean Tucker's longest carry of the season was for 13 yards. Syracuse was waiting, pleading for that home run hitting play, and today they finally got it as Sean Tucker crossed the 40-yard line, made a jump cut, and 60 yards later found the end zone for his longest carry of the season, part of a 200-yard game, the second of his career. So what was different today with the Syracuse run game? SU head coach Dino Babers says the offensive line was sick of hearing the criticism.
I just think the guys they're just, there's a lot of want to. You know, they're just getting tired of hearing people talk about it, maybe me, and they just wanted me not to talk to them about it for the next week. So I'm glad they're tired of hearing my voice, and I was really happy with the results of it.
Definitely, I would say just put in more work, you know, just try to do extra, you know, working on my speed, working on what I'm best at, and it showed on the field.
Well, Tucker in the ground game certainly got their swagger back today. 23 carries for 232 yards and 3 touchdowns for the running back. Big reason why Syracuse is off to a perfect 5-0 start for the first time since 1987. In that year, you could take one of these to the gas station and get a gallon of gas. But throw the records out the window because SU is only halfway through its schedule this season. A bye week next for Syracuse as they prepare for NC State in 2 weeks. The Orange need just 1 win and have 7 tries to get that win to claim bowl eligibility for the first time since 2018. Reporting from the Dome, I'm John Eats, Citrus TV.
So Tucker's 232 yards on the ground is one of many records that were shattered on Saturday. His backup, LaQuint Allen, also had a 90-yard rush to close out the third quarter, the longest run since 1949. But this one might mean the most. Syracuse is in the top 25 for the first time since 2019. On Sunday, the AP poll ranked the Orange 22nd in the nation, and now they're 5-0, and we haven't seen this in 35 years. But, Johnny, that team in 1987 was insane.
Oh, absolutely, Trey. One of the most decorated years in Syracuse football program history. A storybook season with wins over then rivals Penn State, West Virginia down the stretch. It all amounted in a team that didn't lose a singular game. 11-0-1. Of course, that one tie came in a bowl game, the Sugar Bowl to be exact, against Auburn on New Year's Day. Heisman hopeful Don McPherson led the charge that year. Hey, he was actually in attendance for SU and Wagner this past weekend as well. And now it's another Heisman hopeful in Sean Tucker, who knows this team in 2022 can rival what the '87 team put together.
Not gonna lie, we were trying to go for some records, so we weren't able to get that though.
Yeah, coach came up and then OC came up to us and you know, he wanted us to go for that record, but you know, a little injury happened, but we're all good.
And Syracuse may have been too greedy. You mentioned, or well, Tucker mentioned his injury. On the Orange's first offensive drive in the third quarter, Sean Tucker went down for the 3rd time this season. Johnny, we talked about this before the show. We were shocked to see him back out there in the third quarter.
Yeah, there's no need for it whatsoever. Syracuse head coach Dino Baber is saying that, look, that's typical. Even in blowouts, you have your guys go out there at least for the first drive of quarter number 3, then you let them get their rest. I'm sorry, Dino, that's unwarranted at this point. You look at what this Syracuse team has done so far. They hadn't really needed Sean Tucker through the first 5 games. This gauntlet of a schedule coming up, they are going to need not just a vintage Sean Tucker, but a healthy Sean Tucker, rolling him out there up 40 points in the third quarter against Wagner. There's no need for it, Trey.
You mentioned the tough schedule ahead after the bye week. 7 opponents remain. 2 of them are unranked, and 1 of them is Notre Dame. Still plenty to get to on the bench. Both 7th-ranked Syracuse men's soccer and Cuse women's soccer have found success. Both Ian McIntyre and Nikki Thrasher-Adams squads are coming off of weekend victories. Find out if both teams started a winning streak when we come back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable. With you that time you felt most alone. And with you when you realized you would never be. They were with you when you shared your love with the world. And with you when she became your world. Your girls have never left you. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? Knowing your breasts can save your life.
Back here on the bench, Johnny Godamwitz, Trey Redfield. Johnny, 7th-ranked Syracuse men's soccer last time out lost its first match of the year. But a chance for the Orange to return to their winning ways came this weekend in Blacksburg.
Yeah, Trey, you mentioned it. You know what they say. It's really hard to be perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, right? Well, through 8 games, Syracuse men's soccer had made very few. 7-0-1. And then, as you mentioned, Trey, SU suffered that 1-0 stunner against UVA for its first loss of the season. And although perfection was no longer on the table, Ian McIntyre's crew with an opportunity to start a brand new winning streak in Blacksburg against Virginia Tech. In the loss to Virginia, the Orange were shut out for the first time all year. The offense needed a response in a big way on a rainy afternoon in Blacksburg, and early on, it was the defense getting the job done for the Cuse. Russell Shealy, a stonewall of a save. Now Syracuse trying to generate that offense. A shot ripped from the top of the box just wide left. But a few moments later, Giona Leibold puts it past the keeper just to his left. And, hey, he's going to point up to the sky and maybe thank the rain for that one. Syracuse grabs an early 1-0 lead, tried to tack on one more just before the halftime break, but all for naught. But this one was all Orange because in half number 2, they kept the attack rampant, and although it took a little while to break through, Noah Singleman off a laser of a cross scores his first goal of the year. Syracuse outshoots Virginia Tech 21-11, and you know what they say, third time's the charm. Nathan Apoku didn't call his name a whole lot, but he is at the forefront of this Syracuse team offensively. The Orange take it 3-0, the final in Blacksburg.
So now the Orange are back in the win column, sitting pretty in the top 10, but controlling Central New York is extremely important. Tonight, Cuse hosted number 22 Cornell, who is looking for its first win over Syracuse in 5 years. And for the second time in 16 matches, CNY is red. This is the second time the Orange have been upset at home. This time, it comes from their biggest rival in a 2-0 loss. Cornell found goals from Connor Rout and Matthew Goncalves. Despite Syracuse racking up 16 shots and 6 corners, both more than Cornell, it falls to 8-2-1 overall. And now joining us from SU Soccer Stadium is CitrusTV men's soccer beat reporter Andrew Selliver. Andrew, after Cuse's upset loss to Cornell, we're surprised back in this studio. I mean, what did the Orange do wrong tonight?
Yeah, Trey, I think it was less about Syracuse playing poorly tonight and more about Cornell being really good. The Big Red jumped up into the rankings today at number 22. Proved why tonight. Physicality, intensity. For all 90 minutes, Cornell was really good. Syracuse plays with a back 3 in the back. Olu Oyegunle and Abdi Salim play at the outside backs, and they were challenged for most of tonight. Down the flanks, Cornell beat them a lot, got a lot of crosses in the box, and ultimately that led to 2 pretty weak goals to give up. Booster Schoberg, the starting center back for Syracuse, said after the game that you can't give up weak goals like an own goal or a penalty kick if you want to win games against top 25 opponents. Ultimately, Syracuse gives up those weak goals. They weren't clinical enough in the attacking third tonight, and Cornell was really good. Ultimately, that leads to a Big Red victory 2-1 over the Orange tonight at the SU Soccer Stadium.
Andrew, at the end of the day, will this loss just be a blip on Syracuse's radar, or from what you saw tonight, should there be some bigger picture concerns here?
Yeah, Johnny, I think tonight is a bit of a cause for concern because head coach Ian McIntyre for the Orange has stressed all season that the success of the 2022 squad will be determined by how they play in the midweek games. So far, it hasn't been very good. You think back to a matchup at Vermont earlier this season. The Orange tie 1-1. Syracuse did not have a lot of scoring opportunities in that one. Then Niagara at home, just a 1-0 win for SU. That's a game that if Syracuse plays its A game, probably wins 3 or 4-0 in that one. And then tonight, Syracuse doesn't bring its best soccer. Ultimately, they fall to a top 25 opponent. On Friday, everybody knows number 4 Wake Forest is in town. Top spot in the ACC Atlantic's up for grabs. But then on Monday, on short rest, We'll see how the Orange bounce back against Loyola in the midweek.
That's Andrew Selver from SU Soccer Stadium recapping the Orange's 2-1 loss to Cornell. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. After Syracuse women's soccer wrapped up non-conference play with a 7-1 record, its best start in program history, the Orange have been met by a tough ACC slate. The Orange, going into their match with Wake Forest on Sunday, was 1-2 in conference play with losses against Duke and North Carolina. Despite Cuse's win over Miami 2 Sundays ago, Wake was too tall of a task this Sunday. The Orange fell on the road to the Demon Deacons 2-0 behind second-half goals from Emily Morris and Giovanna DeMarco. With the loss, Cuse is now 8-4 overall and 1-3 in ACC play. Next up for Syracuse is a road clash with Boston College on Thursday at 5:30. Follow Colin Davies on Twitter @DaviesColin for live updates.
Coming up on the bench, we're just getting going. Trey and I will be practicing our serve, sets, bumps, and spikes. Now, just kidding. That would be pretty cool, though. But we will tell you everything you need to know about SU volleyball. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Welcome back to On the Bench. She's Trey Redfield. I'm Johnny Gadamowicz. And teams on the Hill have been feasting through this fall. And, you know, we like to get a little festive here on OTB. And, Trey, it is October, so with that, I ask you, would you rather do 100 push-ups or have a full bag of candy corn?
I could crank out 100 push-ups, so I'm going to take the easy route out for me, and it's going to be 100 push-ups. But, Johnny, going into ACC play, the Orange were 4-6. Coming off of back-to-back losses to Yale and Bryant, so the push-up's not really showing in the gym. But hey, when the teams within the conference showed up on the schedule for Syracuse volleyball, all Cuse has done is win. And on Friday, it continued that at Wake Forest. It came down to 5 sets, but Cuse bested Wake 3-2. The Orange were down 2-0, but came back with a 25-16 set 3 win. 26-24 close victory in the 4th set, and finished in the 5th set with a 15-12 exclamation point. And Johnny, the winning did not stop at Virginia Tech.
Yeah, earlier in the show we told you about men's soccer's victory at Virginia Tech. Volleyball, the same fate, a 3-1 victory for the Orange over the Hokies to stay undefeated at 4-0 in ACC play. And it was really total and utter domination for the Cuse, who bested the Hokies in points, kills, aces, blocks, assists, you name it, and who else but Polina Shamanova leading the charge for SU. Another double-double for the grad student, 24 kills and 17 digs. Now next up for the Orange, a date with Notre Dame on Friday.
And now we're joined by Citrus TV's volleyball beat reporter Ryan Bridges. Ryan, when the ACC preseason poll came out, it was Syracuse picked to finish dead last. But now the Orange are 4-0 in ACC play. What's behind Syracuse's hot start?
Yeah, Trey, it's been one word for this Syracuse team. It's been discipline, not just with their execution, because they've limited unforced errors. They've been able to keep their hits down and inside the orange zone, which is so important, of course, in volleyball. But also, they've been able to execute the game plan a lot better. They've had some bad sets in non-conference play. Even throughout this 4-0 run, they've had some bad sets in ACC play too. But they've also learned how to stick to the game plan, stick to the plan that Bakir Ganeshwaratnam has laid out. And so far, it's working pretty well.
You were hammering on discipline, and someone that's been disciplined throughout her collegiate career and in 2022 is Polina Shamanova. She leads the team in kills per set and total kills. How much of an impact, Ryan, has Shamanova's play been during this hot streak?
It cannot be overstated how much of an offensive threat she truly is to every single defender in the entire country, but also the fact that she can register double-digit digs in every set too. She's learning how to contribute on both the offensive and the defensive end. And she's also the emotional leader on this team as well. She's always smiling, she's always happy, she's always the leader in the huddle, and she's the only returning starter from this team from last season. So all in all, it cannot be overstated how good she's been for this team.
Shimanova is a dominant outside hitter, but someone that's turning out to be a dominant right side hitter for Syracuse is Naomi Franco. Ryan, how is Franco contributing to this streak that Syracuse is on right now?
Yeah, Trey, well, she's given them that second offensive threat. You know, she's been that person on the right side when Polina lines up on the left. So these setters like Riley Hoffman, like Lauren Woodford, they can set the ball forward to Shimanova, which is always a great option as well, but they can also set it backwards, and that's where Naomi Franco has been. She's always been on that block, she's always been great defensively, but she's giving them another offensive weapon to go to.
Shimanova and Franco, the 1-2 punch that has propelled Syracuse to a 4-0 start in ACC play. Follow that man on Twitter for Syracuse volleyball updates at Ryan Bridges 517. He has everything up to date that you need to know about the Orange. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Trey.
All right, Ryan, great stuff as always. Now let's move a bit further down Comstock Avenue all the way to J.S. Coyne Stadium, the home of Syracuse field hockey. The number 13 Orange had split their only 2 ACC games entering this weekend's matchup against Boston College. And it must have been a bit too cold in central New York for Eagles to spread their wings because Syracuse cruised to a 3-0 victory. Every Cuse tally actually came in the fourth quarter off the stick of 3 different Syracuse players: Charlotte DeVries, Joy Harmon, and Wilhelmine Bogart. But Trey, that's not the only time Ange Bradley's crew took to the field this week.
Johnny, which is crazy because nobody at home could watch it. The match was not even televised. Anyways, the Orange and Dukes needed overtime to find a winner, and it was Cuse that prevailed 2-1 thanks to Karina Koeman sealing the deal in OT on her only shot of the match. The grad student is now up to 24 points, tied for the best in the ACC alongside Charlotte DeVries, her teammate. Koeman's and Syracuse look to grab their 4th straight win against Stanford tomorrow at 6. While Koeman's and DeVries are pacing the ACC leaderboard, Cuse field hockey has a plethora of options on the pitch. Citrus TV's Skylar Wilkes details how one's journey on the hill started on the lacrosse field.
Athletes would be content playing just one sport, but for Sam Swart, it wasn't enough. After 5 years with Syracuse women's lacrosse, the grad student decided to spend her final chapter right here with SU field hockey.
I love Syracuse, and Syracuse has given me so much with lacrosse for the last 5 years, and if I had the opportunity to stay again like I did, of course I had to take it.
After making 68 starts and scoring 147 goals on the lacrosse field, Swart has taken more of a backseat role with Ange Bradley's squad. The highlight of her season thus far came in the first 2 games, where the midfielder tallied a goal and 2 assists. So while Swart isn't filling up the stat sheet, her impact on the team is not overlooked.
She brings fun, passion, energy, fight. Experience playing in championships, the World Lacrosse Games. I mean, she's just an amazing human being and an awesome competitor, and to have that kind of grit and toughness in our environment is, we're really fortunate.
Although Swart doesn't call the Dome home anymore, her connection to SU lacrosse and those around it hasn't wavered.
I mean, I see them every day, I talk to them every day. It's honestly like I'm on the lacrosse team still.
She delivered that grittiness that the lacrosse program needed. She demonstrated the work ethic it takes to play Division I lacrosse, and she's just an amazing teammate.
Swart and her teammates look to extend their 3-game win streak in a meeting with Stanford at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Reporting for Citrus TV Sports, I'm Skylar Wilkes.
We're not done just yet on the bench. When we come back, the best part of the show. Find out what moments cracked this week's top plays and who made the list of performers of the week. It's OTB on OTN.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner.
Go.
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Wrapping things up on the bench, that's Johnny Gadamowicz. I'm Trey Redfield. Johnny, what's your favorite part about OTB?
Oh, Trey, I could go on and on. We've got highlights, headlines, but what's the saying? Save the best for last?
Yes, and that's exactly what we have. It's time for our top plays. Let's show you who cracked the list this week. We start with ice hockey. Syracuse taking on Merrimack, and it was Tatum White that had a phenomenal goal. She goes bar down with the shot. That was just filthy. Show off the threads, why don't you? One more look at it. A couple of nice moves, and then off the crossbar it goes. Syracuse evens its weekend series with Merrimack.
Our play number 2 goes to a gentleman that hasn't heard his name as much as we thought we would all season. But if there was ever any doubt Sean Tucker had lost his superhuman abilities, he put that to bed this weekend against Wagner. A 60-yard burst to the end zone, part of a 232-yard, 3-touchdown day on the ground for number 34.
That's pretty good, but I got one that's even better. We're going to stick on the gridiron for this. We go to Aronde Gadsden. Look at this. He makes the catch, right? But we're not done just yet. He just throws off one guy. Whoop! Oh, my. Whoa. Gadsden. Whoa, what are you doing with this? He sent throwback all the way back to I-81 with that ankle braided. Syracuse takes it 59-0. Filthy stuff. But let's go from the best plays to players. It's time to show you on the benches performers of the week. And we start on the volleyball court with Syracuse volleyball, not Polina Shimanova, but how about Naomi Franco? The right side hitter had 29 kills this weekend. 23 of them came in Friday's 5-set win at Wake Forest. Franco went into the weekend with a season high of 15 kills. That total came against Bryant back in the middle of September, but Johnny, Franco's good. We talked about it. Shimanova on the outside, Franco on the right side.
All right, let's move over to the gridiron. How about Garrett Schrader for Performer of the Week number 2? The man leading the charge, QB1. You know that feeling when you get a test back, Trey, and it's marked 100%? It's a pretty good feeling, right? Well, that was Garrett Schrader this week, 17 for 17 against Wagner.
And then we begin with our final Performer of the Week, number 34, Sean Tucker. 232 yards on the ground and 3 tutties. That wraps up OTB. That's Johnny Gadamowicz. I'm Trey Redfield. Have a good night. We leave you with our images of the week.
Schrader takes the snap, lofts one left corner of the end zone. It is caught. Umari Hatcher. Stick bars a man on the right hash. It goes into the end zone. It's caught by Cooper, and it opens up another touchdown for Syracuse.
I'm not gonna lie, we were trying to go for some records.